Today on The Moneyologist, how much do I tip my doormen for the holidays? 'Tis the season for tipping, and the question so many of us need answered is, how much do I tip my doorman, and does it matter if I rent or own? Here with the answer is the Moneyologist, Market Watch's Quentin Fottrell. Quentin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So you had a reader write to you with this question, but she also felt uncomfortable asking her neighbors, correct?
Right.
Why was that?
Well, the reader is a renter and felt that the neighbors weren't that friendly. And there has been studies done on this that most people prefer their neighbors to be owners, not renters. So there's a little bit of bias, I'm afraid.
But how trustworthy can you expect your neighbors to be, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as tipping?
Well, funnily enough, renters and owners do tip in broadly the same amount of, yeah. So they're pretty, it's definitely, tipping is about saying thank you to your building staff, and whether or not you own or rent. That might influence the amount you tip, but you definitely should tip regardless.
And so tell us about this recent poll done by Brick Underground. What did it show us most people are tipping their doormen?
Right, so 25% of people are tipping under $250, and everybody else is tipping a lot more than that. And this is,
that's high.
Yeah, but this is not just like, well, it is quite high, but there is a very big spectrum.
Right.
So in my advice, I said, it depends on how long you've been in the building, the relationships you have with the doorman, all of those things. And
how
your budget,
many doormen does that?
How many
factor?
doormen?
Okay.
Your budget. Not to forget the guy who works nights who you never get to see. You should give him something. Of course, the guy who works part-time only weekends maybe gets less than the other fellow.
Right.
You give most to your favorite doorman, the super.
I was going to ask you about that. Is it okay to play favorites, or do they compare notes afterwards?
Because the worst thing I think you can do is to give an envelope to everybody. And this goes, you can apply this to your beauty salon or your hairdressers or wherever you might go. So it's better to give, a tip is a thank you, and it should have the person's name on the envelope, and it saves any arguments later on.
So no group tips.
No group tips.
That's another tough one. And you say don't forget the piano teacher, the dog walker, the personal trainer, all of the people that come to your apartment.
Right, all the people that come to your home.
This can get expensive though, Quentin. What about a very nice, thoughtful gift?
Gifts are absolutely okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that. I have a friend who's a teacher, and she would say, "Oh, I should just She did never want chocolates.
Right.
All she ever got were chocolates." So it's nice to maybe get a sense of what the person wants if you're going to give a gift, because you're going to be getting gifts from everybody in that case, and you don't want them to get, as you end Christmas period, holiday period, with a room full of chocolates.
Absolutely.
So but it's important. I say, like, generally, like a personal trainer, it's like one session. If it's a dog walker, maybe a week's. Generally, like a week's wages if you have the money.
Yes.
But again, there are no hard and fast rules for this.
It gets expensive.
Does range. It ranges all the way up to like over $1,000.
Yes. So you should start saving in January for your December tips. It sounds like to me. Quentin, thank you so much for that.